In the shadowy corners of Hollywood, where ambition meets scandal. Former bodyguard Gene Deal spills secrets that could shatter reputations. He claims that Diddy and Will orchestrated a series of wild gatherings, drawing in young stars into a hidden world of excess and debauchery. Behind the glitz and glamour, whispers of coercion and manipulation linger, painting a dark picture of fame. As rumors swirl about secret parties and questionable encounters, the allure of celebrity becomes a dangerous game. What really happened behind closed doors, and who else is entangled in Diddy's web of secrets? Watch this video to uncover the whole truth. But before we dive into the details, it's essential to understand the motives behind Diddy and Will's freakoffs. The motive. Rumors about Diddy and Will Smith being part of a secret Hollywood gay club have been circulating for years, adding to the intrigue surrounding their careers. Legendary comedian Jim Carrey even expressed surprise at their sudden rise to fame, speculating that the two might have joined the Illuminati, which supposedly granted them unparalleled success. These speculations only fuel ongoing allegations regarding Will Smith's private life, with accusations continuing to surface. One of the most explosive claims came from Will Smith's former assistant, brother Bilal, who gave an interview to Tasha K stating that he once walked in on Dwayne Martin having sex with Will Smith. Bilal, who worked closely with Will during the writing of his book, insisted that his claims were true, despite Jada Pinkett Smith allegedly threatening to sue him. He challenged the Smiths to take legal action, but curiously no lawsuit followed, leading to speculation that the matter may have been settled privately. While Bilal's allegations stirred up controversy, Jaguar Wright took things even further, by suggesting that Bilal knew more than he revealed. She accused Will Smith of not only having an affair with Dwayne Martin, but also claimed that Will was involved in inappropriate relations with his own family members. According to Wright, Jaden Smith wasn't Will's only victim, and she alleged that others, including Bresher Gray and Meek Mill, were also subject to disturbing experiences at the Smith mansion. Wright's testimony paints a dark picture of life behind the scenes at the Smith residence. She mentioned how young men, supposedly in a mentorship program with Will and Diddy, were left traumatized after attending their freak-off parties. Meek Mill, Bresher Gray, and August Alsina were among the names mentioned as part of this program. These allegations have further raised eyebrows, especially considering Jaden Smith's public comments suggesting his father might be gay. Jim Carrey's public comments about the Illuminati, while often delivered with his trademark humor, have sparked intrigue among fans and conspiracy theorists alike. During an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Carrey made a bold gesture, pressing his hands to his face and sticking out his tongue, which he claimed was a symbol of the Illuminati. His explanation that he was tired of keeping secrets, and wanted to reveal the truth about this shadowy organization, was met with laughter from the audience. Kimmel played along, and many brushed it off as another one of Carrey's comedic routines. However, some believe that Carrey was hinting at something deeper. The theory suggests that Carrey, known for his satirical style, may have been using humor as a shield to expose what he views as the hidden agenda of the Illuminati. Over the years, Carrey has made other cryptic statements about the entertainment industry and its dark underbelly, leading some to speculate that he might be trying to send a message, while keeping a layer of plausible deniability. Despite the outlandish nature of these claims, Carrey's comments have fueled discussions about secret societies and the control they allegedly wield over Hollywood. His willingness to joke about the Illuminati in such a public setting, combined with his past statements, has led conspiracy theorists to believe that his humor is a mask for a more serious warning. Jim Carrey's infamous moment on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he seemingly mocked the Illuminati by calling out the All-Mocking Ton, was seen by some as a veiled attempt to expose Hollywood's secretive organizations, by calling it the All-Mocking Tongue, instead of directly referencing the All-Seeing Eye. Carrey strategically avoided legal repercussions while still planting the seed of doubt. His humor acted as both a shield and a tool to distract the audience, allowing him to voice his concerns, without completely breaking his cover. Carrey's claims went further as he discussed how the Illuminati allegedly distracts the masses from real issues. He suggested that Hollywood's influence is wielded not just for entertainment, but for manipulation, with actors and media personalities used as instruments to divert attention from pressing social and political concerns. By making the public laugh and focus on superficial aspects of life, the powers behind the scenes maintain control. Carrey's comedic presentation kept the tone light, but for those paying attention, his words carried a deeper, unsettling message. This theory gains more traction when considering the speculations about certain Hollywood figures, such as Diddy and Will Smith, being involved in recruiting young men into these secretive groups. Rumors have circulated for years about a select group of powerful male celebrities tasked with bringing others into the fold, fueling the conspiracy of an underground network, pulling the strings in the entertainment industry. These whispers often tie back to the idea that there's much more to fame than meets the eye, with secret societies like the Illuminati allegedly orchestrating the rise of certain stars while maintaining a tight grip on their personal lives and careers. According to various rumors and theories, Will Smith's rise to fame wasn't purely based on his talent, but allegedly involved his initiation into a secretive Hollywood group. These claims suggest that Smith, who initially had dreams of becoming a rapper, found himself drawn into the entertainment industry's darker side after meeting legendary music producer Quincy Jones. Jones, who had the power and connections to shape careers, reportedly had other intentions for Smith, steering him towards acting and further into Hollywood's elite circles. The idea that Smith was part of a mentorship program aimed at recruiting young talent into these secretive groups is not new. Figures like Jaguar Wright have previously claimed that the Smiths, along with Diddy, ran programs that were far from ordinary mentorship. Instead, these programs allegedly involved strange rituals designed to break down new recruits and groom them into future masters of the industry, who would then continue the cycle of recruitment and manipulation. Jim Carrey's warnings about Hollywood's agenda to turn people into consumer drones align with these theories, painting a picture of a controlled entertainment industry where those who reach the top are not only responsible for distracting the masses, but also for bringing in fresh talent to be molded into influencers of the next generation. Carrey's cryptic messages, combined with the ongoing rumors about Will Smith and Diddy, suggest that fame and success in Hollywood may come at a greater price than most realize. The theory surrounding Will Smith's rise to fame centers on a fateful dinner at Quincy Jones' home, where he was allegedly introduced to powerful figures in Hollywood. According to Will's own account, Quincy unexpectedly asked him to audition for a role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, in front of these industry heavyweights. Though initially hesitant, Will eventually gave in to Quincy's persuasion and secured the main role in the iconic sitcom on his very first try. While this story has been shared by Will Smith himself, many fans have found it hard to believe that an inexperienced newcomer could land such a major role so effortlessly. This skepticism has led to theories that what happened at Quincy's house that night was far more than a simple audition. Some believe that Will's sudden success came at a cost involving an initiation into a secretive circle within Hollywood, a group allegedly connected to the Illuminati. Conspiracy theories suggest that this night marked Will's entry into a group of powerful individuals, with Quincy Jones playing a key role in facilitating that introduction. Echoing this sentiment, Suge Knight once made cryptic remarks about how Diddy, another major figure in the entertainment industry, was a regular guy until he began associating with certain people in the business who, according to Knight, did things to him. This idea that rising stars are exploited by powerful men in the industry only to later become part of the cycle themselves, feeds into the larger narrative that Will Smith's career wasn't merely built on talent and timing, but on secretive agreements and dark compromises. The ease with which Will transitioned from aspiring rapper to lead actor in a major sitcom has raised questions. Many believe that the widely shared story of his quick audition for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a cover for a deeper, more troubling initiation process involving Quincy and his influential friends. The theory suggests that Will Smith, like other stars, may have made questionable compromises to gain his initial fame, with some alleging that he might have engaged in inappropriate activities with Quincy Jones and his influential friends. This notion isn't meant to undermine Will's talent, but it taps into a broader pattern that fans believe exists in Hollywood, a pattern where young, aspiring talents encounter older, more powerful figures who seem to fast-track their careers. Will's rise is often compared to that of Diddy, another young man who quickly found fame after aligning with influential men in the industry. These parallels fuel suspicions that both were drawn into secretive circles that operated behind the scenes using mentorship as a cover for something more sinister. The narrative deepens with claims from Jaguar Wright, who alleged that Michael Jackson's rise to stardom followed a similar path. According to Wright, Suzanne de Passé, a powerful industry figure, escorted a young Michael to meet important men at private events, which she believes contributed to his exceptional fame, even beyond his already successful career with the Jackson 5. The recurring theme seems to suggest that stars like Will, Diddy, and Michael may have been introduced to exclusive circles where compromising acts were seen as part of the deal to access fame and fortune. In Michael's case, while he earned money through album sales, Wright claims that he was also exploited for his unique appeal, with Suzanne de Passé using him to secure financial deals. These connections lead conspiracy theorists to argue that fame in Hollywood often comes with hidden costs, involving moral compromises and questionable alliances. This broader pattern feeds into the idea that rising stars may have been drawn into dark secretive deals behind the glamour. Diddy's bodyguard reveals the truth about freak-offs. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has brought forth shocking claims about Diddy's alleged secretive activities within Hollywood's elite circles. According to Deal, rumors have circulated for years about Diddy's attempts to target younger artists, including notable names like Chris Brown and the members of B5, a boy band he managed. The allegations suggest that Diddy, along with other influential figures in the industry, has been involved in questionable practices, many of which are kept under wraps by powerful publicists and media outlets. Deal doesn't just stop at Diddy, he also names other prominent figures like Jimmy Iovine, implying that similar accusations exist against them but are deliberately suppressed to protect their reputations. While these claims remain unproven, they contribute to the growing speculation surrounding the exploitative nature of certain power players in Hollywood. One particularly bizarre incident was recounted by rapper Cameron in an interview, where he mentioned an odd experience at Diddy's house, involving a dildo being found in a bathroom sink. Cameron claimed that Mace, a rapper who had a close relationship with Diddy, was in the bathroom during the incident. The story left many unsettled, adding yet another layer of strange behavior attributed to Diddy. Deal's candid recollection of these events reinforces long-standing rumors about Diddy's alleged fetishes and peculiar activities behind closed doors, making it clear that there's a much darker side to the glamorous world of fame and power in the music industry. Gene Deal's revelations about Diddy's alleged secret life have stirred up even more intrigue. According to Deal, Diddy has been involved in planning secretive, exclusive parties that go well beyond the usual Hollywood events. These gatherings supposedly involve members of Hollywood's elite indulging in behaviors that most would find shocking. Deal claims that Diddy not only participates, but actively seeks new members for these private events, transforming these get-togethers into something much more clandestine and selective. One of the more bizarre stories comes from a time Deal was with Diddy in an exotic bookstore. Diddy, per Deal's account, was shopping for a range of items, filling a brown paper bag with things that left Deal perplexed. At one point, he noticed Diddy picking up several butt plugs from a shelf, an observation that he found curious enough to question. Diddy's response was dismissive, asking for privacy to do his shopping in peace. The casual way Diddy handled the situation, paying for his items with a hefty stack of cash without even showing what he was purchasing, further highlighted the secrecy surrounding these purchases. This incident, coupled with Deal's other claims, has led many to believe that Diddy's little black book might not just contain contacts, but is a key to a darker, more hidden world within Hollywood. The alleged parties and events he is involved in seem to be part of a secret network, and according to Deal, Diddy has been an active recruiter, bringing others into the fold. Gene Deal's shocking revelations extend beyond Diddy's personal activities, painting a disturbing picture of large-scale events in Hollywood that involve more than just personal indulgence. According to Deal, Diddy has allegedly been organizing gatherings not just for his own enjoyment, but to pull other powerful men into questionable pursuits. Deal claims that Diddy actively encourages others to participate in these secretive, often scandalous meetings, with male prostitutes being hired for more than just his personal use. Deal described these events as freak-offs, where prominent Hollywood figures gather to engage in highly secretive activities, often in spaces like Turkish baths, establishments where gay men meet for more than just hot baths. Deal suggested that these baths serve as a discreet meeting ground where individuals can have private encounters, without worrying about their secrets getting out. These gatherings allegedly form part of a larger covert network, with Diddy at the helm organizing everything to ensure discretion. One particularly bizarre incident Deal recounted involved a situation at a hotel's presidential suite. Diddy and an unnamed artist were inside a room, and Deal was instructed not to let anyone in. Despite this, the artist's cousin tried to force his way in, leading to a confrontation. As Deal physically restrained the cousin, both Diddy and the artist rushed out of the room naked, with the artist desperately trying to cover himself with a towel. The tension was palpable, as the artist explained it was his cousin who was attempting to enter. Puff, however, was nonchalant about the whole situation, signaling just how far removed these encounters are from everyday norms. These stories, if true, suggest that the gatherings organized by Diddy go far beyond ordinary Hollywood parties. They seem to represent a hidden world where celebrities and powerful figures engage in activities that they would never want to be made public. The secrecy surrounding these events is part of their allure, and the hefty price tags attached to attending such gatherings hint at just how scandalous they might be. Cassie's recent lawsuit against Diddy has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, with revelations that have shocked even those familiar with Diddy's controversial past. According to Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, her claims are not only shocking, but true. Gene expressed his sympathy for Cassie, noting that she was a victim of circumstances and manipulation at a young age. He pointed out that Cassie was only 17 when she first got involved with Diddy, and the allure of private jets and the glamorous lifestyle played a big role in pulling her into his world. But what struck Gene the most was the lack of parental involvement. He questioned where Cassie's parents were when she wasn't coming home, asking how such a young girl could have been allowed to be swept up into that world without more oversight. Gene's statement paints a grim picture as he links Cassie's experience with what he witnessed between Diddy and Kim Porter, Diddy's late ex-girlfriend. The similarities between their experiences suggest a pattern of behavior where young women are lured in by the glitz and glamour but end up caught in something far darker. Cassie's lawsuit claims that Diddy would organize weekly freak-offs, where she was allegedly forced to participate in graphic and degrading acts. While the public is quick to place blame on Cassie, Gene urged people to be more compassionate and understand her as a victim in this situation. According to him, the story being told about Cassie is reflective of a much deeper, disturbing pattern of behavior from Diddy, one that involves manipulation and control over young women. Gene's comments highlight the power dynamics at play, with Diddy seemingly using his influence and wealth to exploit those around him. He also emphasized that despite how the public narrative might frame Cassie, it's essential to recognize the abuse of power involved and show compassion for someone who found themselves trapped in a toxic situation at such a young age. The narrative surrounding Cassie's experiences with Diddy continues to evolve with implications that suggest more than just a one-sided dynamic. According to Gene Deal, the allegations point to a scenario where Cassie was not just a passive participant, but part of a much larger and more disturbing arrangement. He indicated that Cassie's search for validation and acceptance, particularly in the glamorous world of music, led her to engage in situations that involved not just herself, but also other men present. The implication is that Diddy may have been facilitating these encounters for his own gratification, as well as Cassie's creating an atmosphere where the boundaries of consent and comfort were blurred. Gene pointed out that if Cassie referred to these gatherings as freak-off sessions, it implies that multiple individuals were involved, including Diddy himself. This raises questions about the level of participation expected from everyone present, and whether Diddy was also involved with the male prostitutes brought into these encounters. Gene referenced stories he'd heard about Diddy's behavior on yachts, suggesting that these situations weren't isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern. One notable account mentioned was that of Cassie confiding in a friend about her inability to cope with the pressure and chaos of her circumstances, especially while under a non-disclosure agreement. This speaks to the fear and isolation many victims feel when trapped in such environments, unable to share their truths due to legal and social constraints. Gene's insights highlight the manipulative tactics at play, suggesting that Cassie's allure to the music industry was exploited, leading her into situations that were not only damaging but also terrifying. Gene Deal's commentary on the lawsuit adds another layer of complexity. He claims that key details were omitted before the lawsuit reached the courts, implying that the narrative presented was selectively edited. According to him, much of what was disclosed could only be a fraction of the actual events. This raises significant questions about transparency and accountability, particularly in cases involving powerful figures in the entertainment industry. Gene noted the difficulty Cassie would face in identifying the individuals involved, especially if they were masked during these encounters. This anonymity, combined with the edited nature of the lawsuit, complicates her ability to provide a full account of her experiences, leaving many details shrouded in mystery. He emphasized that the stories of Diddy's behavior have circulated within the industry for a long time, suggesting a culture of silence and complicity among those aware of his actions. The dismissal of the lawsuit only underscores the challenges faced by individuals seeking justice against influential figures, further illuminating the potential for exploitation and manipulation that exists in the entertainment world. Gene Deal's assertion that the lawsuit may only scratch the surface of what Cassie endured adds another layer of intrigue. The implications of her claims, including allegations of being coerced into dangerous situations, forced to carry a gun, and subjected to human trafficking, paint a grim picture of her experience. The suggestion that Cassie was directed to seek out prostitutes, possibly for the entertainment of Diddy and his associates, makes the situation even murkier. The notion that she was searching for the big black not only for herself, but also for someone else in the room, adds to the complexity of her narrative. It raises questions about consent and agency in environments where power dynamics are heavily skewed. If she was indeed involved in these activities under duress or manipulation, it would underscore a troubling pattern of exploitation within the industry. In high-stakes cases like this, the emphasis on maintaining certain narratives to avoid backlash can complicate the path to justice. The editing out of significant allegations may serve to protect powerful figures at the expense of transparency and accountability. This situation reflects broader societal issues regarding the treatment of women, particularly those in vulnerable positions. Gene Deal's perspective highlights a disturbing aspect of abusive relationships that often gets overlooked: the psychological manipulation involved. When he discusses the notion of force, he underscores that it's not always about physical threats. Instead, it can stem from a deeply ingrained mental control that traps the victim in a web of fear and dependency. In Cassie's case, it seems she found herself in a situation where Diddy exerted significant influence over her, creating an environment that made her feel she had no viable options. This type of psychological manipulation can be incredibly insidious. It convinces individuals that leaving or resisting would lead to severe consequences both personally and professionally. Gene's comparison to a pimp highlights how such relationships can mirror exploitative dynamics, where one party uses their power to maintain control over another. The fear of being blackballed in the industry can weigh heavily on someone like Cassie, especially when their career is closely tied to someone with Diddy's influence. This fear can lead to a sense of helplessness, where the victim feels that complying with the demands is their only means of survival. Gene Deal's claims about Diddy's connections with younger artists raise serious eyebrows, especially regarding Justin Bieber's mysterious 48 hours at Diddy's house. The involvement of Usher as a supposed matchmaker adds another layer of complexity. It implies a deeper network of influence and possible manipulation within the industry. The details of those 48 hours remain shrouded in secrecy, stirring curiosity and suspicion among fans and observers alike, with the promise of a house and a Lamborghini. It seems there were enticing incentives involved, suggesting Diddy's patterns of attracting young talent might be more than just professional mentorship. What relationship did Diddy have with Justin Bieber? What was Bieber doing spending so much time with Diddy as a teenager? And why is this raising concerns now? That's where we're heading next, so don't go anywhere. Early connection between Diddy and Bieber. The relationship between Sean Diddy Combs and Justin Bieber stretches back to when Bieber was a teenager, and it has now come under heavy scrutiny. When Bieber was only 15, he found himself spending time with Diddy, who was over 40 at the time. One of the most discussed moments from their time together is a resurfaced 2009 video where Diddy talks about how he was given custody of Bieber for 48 hours. I don't
have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me,
So did he even jokes about going full crazy and not being able to disclose what they were doing during the time, although at the time this might have seemed harmless to some. In light of the serious allegations against Diddy, fans are revisiting these moments with growing concern. Several videos have resurfaced in the wake of Diddy's sex trafficking charges, and fans are now viewing them in a much darker light. In the 2009, Diddy makes cryptic remarks about spending time with Bieber, which many find unsettling. Diddy, an established industry mogul referring to Bieber as being under his custody, has raised serious questions, especially now that Diddy faces allegations of exploiting vulnerable individuals. Another clip from a 2016 party has also gone viral, in which Bieber visibly awkward smiles as Diddy talks about their plans to go out and get some girls. While these moments were perhaps brushed off at the time as part of Bieber's rise in the entertainment industry, they now add fuel to conspiracy theories about what was really happening. Behind the scenes, fans are questioning why a teenager was spending so much time in such situations with someone far older, and whether Bieber might have been taken advantage of. The reaction from fans and the media has been swift and critical. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, users are expressing their shock, calling the videos creepy and disturbing. Some fans are openly wondering why no one stepped in to protect Bieber during his teenage years, particularly given Diddy's influence and wealth. Bieber's apparent discomfort in the resurfaced clips has only added to the concern, with many seeing it as a sign that something more sinister may have been happening. Despite the growing attention surrounding these videos and the charges against Diddy, Justin Bieber has remained conspicuously silent. Sources close to him suggest that Bieber is focused on his family and personal life, especially after recently becoming a father. However, fans are left speculating about the reasons behind his silence. Given Bieber's traumatic experiences in the music industry, which he has spoken about in the past, some wonder if there is more to the story than meets the eye. Bieber's decision to not publicly address the issue has left a gap that fans and critics alike are eager to fill. Whether he is avoiding the controversy to protect his own mental health or to distance himself from Diddy's legal troubles remains unclear. Still, his silence only adds more layers to the mystery surrounding his past relationship with Diddy. But while fans speculate the legal case against Diddy continues to evolve in the next chapter, we'll dive into the latest bombshell testimonies and new developments that could send shockwaves through the entire music industry. Could these new testimonies reveal more high-profile names involved? What other shockwaves might these developments send across the entertainment industry? Stick around because it's about to get even more explosive. Broader news about the case and new development. Sean Diddy Combs' legal issues reached a new height in September 2024 when he was formally arrested and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and running a criminal enterprise. The charges stemmed from a long-running investigation that began in 2023 after Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of physical and sexual abuse. Federal authorities raided Diddy homes in Beverly Hills and Miami, uncovering disturbing evidence that tied him to a network of exploitation. One of the most significant elements of Diddy's legal battle is the growing number of testimonies from alleged victims. Some victims have claimed they were coerced into participating in freak-off parties, events allegedly orchestrated by Diddy that involved drugs, manipulation, and sexual exploitation. These testimonies provide a detailed and disturbing account of the culture of abuse that Diddy allegedly fostered within his inner circle. Perhaps most shockingly, some male sex workers have come forward with claims of exploitation, complicating the case even further. Their accounts point to a broader, more systematic form of abuse where both men and women were subjected to Diddy's control. These testimonies could be pivotal in securing a conviction, especially given the weight of the accusations that have now been made public. There has also been significant discussion around the broader implications of the case for the entertainment industry. Some argue that Diddy's arrest is part of a larger reckoning within the music world, echoing the impact of the #MeToo movement on Hollywood. They say the power dynamics at play are finally being exposed, and more individuals might soon be held accountable for years of unchecked abuse, as the legal proceedings move forward. There are a few possible outcomes for Diddy. Some legal experts believe that, given the severity of the charges and the growing pile of evidence, Diddy may seek a plea deal to avoid the lengthy and damaging process of a full trial. If he does go to trial and is convicted, he could face decades in prison, effectively ending his career and leaving his legacy in tatters. On the other hand, Diddy's legal team is working tirelessly to challenge the charges, claiming that the allegations are part of a coordinated effort to tarnish his name. They have suggested that Diddy is a target because of his wealth and influence. Diddy's legal proceedings, it all started in September 2024 when federal authorities arrested him in New York on serious charges, sex trafficking, racketeering, and more. According to the indictment, Diddy allegedly ran a criminal enterprise for years that used his business empire Bad Boy Entertainment to facilitate these activities. We're talking forced labor, sexual exploitation, and even intimidation tactics to keep everything under wraps. These freak-off parties, which Diddy reportedly organized, were said to be wild drug-fueled events where vulnerable people were exploited. But this isn't just about one or two incidents. The indictment suggests this behavior goes back years, potentially as far back as the early 2000s. For nearly a year, Diddy had already been battling multiple civil lawsuits accusing him of sexual misconduct. Things escalated when federal investigators raided his properties, turning up disturbing evidence of a larger network of abuse. So what's the fallout? Well, Diddy's career has been flipped upside down. His business empire, including bad boy records and ventures like Ciroc Vodka, has come under intense scrutiny, not to mention the credibility and legacy he spent decades building are now at risk of being completely dismantled. And despite his legal team insisting he's innocent, Diddy has been denied bail twice.
Back in federal court today in Manhattan, this time trying to secure bail. The music mogul was denied bail yesterday.
Prosecutors argued that his wealth and connections made him a flight risk, not to mention the risk of witness intimidation. While some fans are holding out hope for his innocence, the evidence seems to be stacking up and his once glamorous life is now mired in scandal. So what does this mean for Diddy's once untouchable career? And is there a deeper connection linking him to other high-profile figures with similar allegations? That's exactly what we're about to explore as we dive into Diddy's unsettling links to Jeffrey Epstein. The Epstein connection. Now let's dive into one of the most shocking aspects of the Diddy case, the growing conspiracy theories linking him to Jeffrey Epstein. Both men stand accused of deeply disturbing operations involving the exploitation and manipulation of vulnerable individuals, which has led many to draw parallels between their cases. First off, the accusations against Diddy share some eerie similarities to those levied against Epstein. Both men are alleged to have used their wealth, power, and vast networks to exploit women and young people. Epstein's notorious parties on his private island involved high-profile guests, underage girls, and allegations of sexual trafficking on an international scale. Diddy, while not accused of the same kind of global trafficking, is said to have hosted similar freak-off parties where drugs manipulation and sexual abuse were rampant. Some conspiracy theorists argued that Diddy parties were smaller scale but reflected the same power dynamics and exploitation as Epstein's infamous gatherings. In both cases, we see a pattern of using social influence to draw in not only victims but other powerful individuals who either turned a blind eye or participated. For many conspiracy theorists, the parallels are too striking to ignore. Conspiracies run wild when high-profile figures like Diddy and Epstein are involved, largely because of the secrecy surrounding their personal lives and the hidden nature of their alleged crimes. In the case of Epstein, leaked flight logs and testimonies revealed a long list of famous guests, from politicians to actors. The question some are now asking is, was Diddy on that list? Could he have been involved in similar activities? As of now, no one has uncovered any verifiable proof of Diddy visiting Epstein's island, but in the court of public opinion that hasn't stopped the rumors from spreading. Some argue that the legal trouble Diddy now finds himself in could be a result of trying to cover up connections to a much larger, more sinister network, a theory that draws disturbing parallels to how Epstein operated before his arrest.
Well, I have kept this secret for like 14 years. I mean, the first time I experienced it was 2010.
One of the most gripping conspiracy theories about both Diddy and Epstein is the idea that they ran blackmail networks. In Epstein's case, it's widely speculated that his lavish parties were a front for a larger operation designed to capture compromising material on the rich and powerful, hidden cameras, secret recordings, and vulnerable guests. These were allegedly used to exert control over high-profile individuals. Similarly, some conspiracy theorists believe that Diddy's freak-off parties could have served the same purpose. The theory goes that these parties weren't just for Diddy's pleasure, but were elaborate traps set up to blackmail others. The events were allegedly recorded with video evidence of powerful guests engaging in illegal or immoral acts. This supposed leverage could be used for business deals, political favors, or simply as insurance to keep people loyal. Of course, like many conspiracy theories, this one is rooted in speculation rather than concrete evidence. But given Epstein's well-known use of blackmail, many believed it. He might have adopted a similar strategy, using his influence to manipulate not just victims but fellow celebrities and business leaders. But this conspiracy goes deeper. Could Diddy's downfall be linked to powerful figures trying to cover up their own involvement? And are there more connections between Diddy and Epstein that have yet to surface? Follow along as we look into how Epstein's mysterious death may have set the stage for the danger Diddy now faces behind bars. Epstein's death and risks for Diddy in jail. Let's talk about one of the most controversial elements in the Diddy case, the risks he faces while in jail, and how it mirrors the situation of Jeffrey Epstein before his death. The parallels between their cases have fueled even more speculation and conspiracy theories. Jeffrey Epstein's death in 2019 at the Metropolitan Correctional Center or MCC in Manhattan sparked intense controversy. Officially, his death was ruled as self-inflicted, but from the start, many people suspected foul play. Epstein, who was facing sex trafficking charges involved in minors, had powerful connections across politics, entertainment, and finance. The idea that he could have been murdered to protect others involved in his criminal activity spread quickly. The fact that Epstein had previously been on watch but wasn't monitored properly at the time of his death only added to the public's distrust of the official story. Many believe he was silenced to protect high-profile individuals linked to his trafficking ring. Now, fast forward to 2024, and we see similar concerns rising with Diddy. After his arrest on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, he was placed in the Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for harsh conditions and previous incidents of inmates taking their own lives. As with Epstein, people are worried about Diddy's safety while he awaits trial. Could Diddy be at risk of being silenced the same way conspiracy theorists believe Epstein was? These questions have been floating around online, with some even using the term Epstein to describe the potential danger Diddy faces while in custody. The biggest thing with all this is he gonna get Epstein? There had to be some real celebrities. He has tapes on people. In response to these concerns, Diddy has been placed on watch, despite reports that he isn't showing any signs of self-harm tendencies. According to his legal team, the decision is routine for high-profile inmates facing serious charges and it's meant as a precautionary measure, but many are skeptical, viewing it as eerily similar to what happened to Epstein. So, what is being done to ensure Diddy's safety? Since his arrest, Diddy has been under close watch at the MDC, a facility that has been criticized for its unsafe conditions. The jail has struggled with violence, poor staffing, and several instances of self-harm in recent years. To mitigate the risks, Diddy has been placed in a special housing unit, which provides heightened security and isolation from the general inmate population. These units are designed to protect inmates at risk of harm, either from themselves or others. In addition to his placement in the SHU, Diddy is being monitored 24/7 by prison staff. This includes regular checks, constant video surveillance, and the use of a safety smock, a garment that cannot be used for self-harm. These measures are intended to prevent any incidents, especially given the high-profile nature of his case and the global attention it has drawn. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts.